Welcome to Barred Acres Farm. We have 4 roosters that made us a lot of broth. I'll say different totals in this video, but it ended up being like 6 to 7 gallons. That's Barred Acres measurements. You'll hear about that in this video. But there's different types of broth. What gives you more gel? We're using a same size Instapot to show you what kind of gel we get with around the same amount of water in each one. Gel, collagen, all that's important to our family, and we want the most from all of our animals that feed us. So come watch with us. This one gives more collagen. I'm about to debone my chicken. So, what types of broth are we making? We're making meat broth. We are making bone broth. We are making broth with the neck and feet. And then we are making perpetual broth. So, that's just a little bonus in here. I'm surprised at the gel we get where we get it. Pretty interesting. Today, the next part of our broth is I've got to freeze it. I've got off of 4 roosters. I've got to do perpetual broth today, and we'll just use it up throughout the week, I reckon, so I won't put it back. I'll drink it and all that, but let's see how many gallons of broth we have, and let's see which one gave me the most collagen. Now, I had 2 size Instapots. I tend to I use too much water. My smaller Instapot gives me more of gel. So I'm going to use the exact same Instapot, my 8-quart Evo Duo Plus. It's 8 quarts, and I filled it to the max with 2 roosters in each batch. And then I put the necks, and I only did from 3 roosters because one rooster had a couple of problems on his feet, and I just threw the feet away. So we only had 2, 4, 6 feet in the broth, and we had 4 necks. So let's see which one gave the most gel. I hope you're curious, because I like collagen rich broths.
Mommy, there's a little bit more I know.
Oh, okay. So here is our broth, and all of them, this one had a half a gallon of water. I mean, it filled up in my Instapot Duo half.
Mommy?
Hold on, Joe. This is how I measured it. I don't know if y'all can see. Let me see. But, let's see. Back here, it measures the maximum you can do for pressure cooking. You can fill it up higher, but for pressure cooking, you can't. Here is half full for pressure cooking. Okay. So, this is how much I did. Now, granted, this is probably not the most accurate one either. I may do this again in the future, but I wanted to just see, because you got to think the meat takes up room. So when I put the chicken carcass in there and filled it with the same amount of water, it really wasn't the same amount of water. But I knew that this had less in it as far as capacity, because it was only 6 chicken feet and 4 necks. So I only filled it half full. But, so this is not the most measured out accurate thing ever. But this is Borrowed Acres Farm, and we're just living life, and we don't have time for accuracy. So let's see. I was really impressed with the fat on these roosters. This is the meat broth. Meat broth, feet broth, I guess is the best way to put that. And then here's all my broths. I had plenty of milk jugs, but I had forgot I'd already stored them. And I started this whole project and just had to make my choice. So let's see. Which do you think makes more broth? And then I'm going to show you why I have this out and some freezer bags on how to freeze mine. So we have fat on this one. And I already skimmed some of the fat off, but it rose real good. I butchered the rooster on Wednesday. And then I made these. It did not take long. So this right here in one Instapot, I have 1, 2, 3 gallons. Now over here I've set out another gallon. So this is 4 gallons. Plus I'm making a perpetual broth today that has, it will be a gallon. So by the time I get done, now granted, these are rough gallons, rough borrowed acre gallons. You know what those are like. So I'm getting close to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gallons of broth from 4 roosters. So I'm getting more, what I was gonna say is I'm getting more than a gallon per rooster is what we can say. Because like I say, that's not all the way full, that's not all the way full, these are rough estimates. But which one gave us more gel? Why is gel important? I want the collagen. Collagen we need. Many people have replacements and joint problems. Collagen is that. Animals give us collagen. So, let's bring you closer to this. Since the meat was the first broth I made. Oh, and I started to tell you. I butchered them on Wednesday, started my meat broth. The next morning, I did my bone broth. Then, that evening, I did my feet broth. That just sounds wonderful. And then, the next day, doing my other. But I had a weekend. So, my weekend, we had a birthday party and all that, and went to work and all that. So, my weekend stopped me, and I just left these cooling in the fridge. But let's see what we get. So this is the fat right there. You can see it is lots of fat, but look at that gorgeous meat broth color. You can see where the fat line is, and then it's just gorgeous. So what I'm trying to say is these have been in the fridge for 3 days. Or Wednesday, Thursday. 5 days, 4 days, 3 days. Love y'all. So, I'm like, it's going to be 10 times easier if I get the good gel on these to freeze them. That's another thing, bonus. All right, I peeled back the fat. Let's get the camera to where you can see this really good. I think that's it. Do we have good gel? Oh, my lens. Did you see that? Okay. Look at that. So I'm going to sit it on the plate. It's gelled. Like you can see how it's holding its shape. Those were some fat roosters. I guess when you have all the women you need and all the feed, that's what you get. So now our next one. Now this one still has fat on it, but it's not near as much. So let's see if our 2 carcasses apiece in each one of the meat and the bone. Let's see how gelled it was. Not as gelled. But that still had the skin on because I did not collect skin. You can see where it's not just a runny puddle. Like if this were very, very not gelled at all, it would be just all over the place. So there we go. Meat broth from 2 roosters with skin. Bone broth with 2 roosters with skin. So now we will move on to, let's do this one because it has the fat. We will move on to feet broth. This is chicken feet and neck. I guess we could say head to toe if I had the combs in this. I think people make combs, put combs in their broth too because it's collagen. If I had done that, we could have said head to toe broth, which I don't know. It sounds a little more pleasing, but might not be. And this was not from all the roosters. This is from 3 roosters. All right. So let's see what it does on the plate. So it's a lot less gel there. But if I could get all of these broths to do exactly like that one. I can tell you how. To, I guess, render it down. To evaporate some of the liquid. So I probably there just used too much water. And could have used a little less water and had them all do equal. But I wanted to show you similar amounts of water. Borrowed acres amounts. Which is, you know, eyeballing it. But look. You can tell where this one is. That one, you can tell because there's a little piece of fat. But it's pretty liquidy. It's going downhill, which you may not can see on camera. But it's already run to there. And there is our meat broth. So our meat broth is the winter chicken dinner. But that's pretty cool. I hope y'all were interested in that and liked it. If you do like this video, I need subscribers. I need watch time. Go through other things. We have a tiny house. We have many things coming up. We're just waiting on our timber to be done. We have solar panels that we're working with to try to understand so we can do a good video on that. We've got struck by lightning, all that great stuff. Whatever you're interested in, I'll give you more things like this. We have feta cheese we've made. We have other upcoming cheeses with Violet's Calf next year. Subscribe so you can just see what we're up to. But like the video, share the video, help us grow our channel. We would appreciate that very much. So if you've enjoyed this, even go and hit the ring bell so that you can be informed when we have videos. But our next thing is, I have another way of freezing broth, and I'll definitely use it. But I dropped it one time and it broke, so it's not what it used to be. This was given to me by a viewer, and I can't thank you enough. You know who you are, and you still are very special to me. Because this is before we were even doing our channel. We were just doing these things. So here's 2 teaspoons, 1 cup, and here's another 2 teaspoon one. It has a little thing that goes on it to protect it so you can stack them. What's neat, 2 of these stack on the cup one. I would love to get more of these, but I have not done it yet. I have not taken the time and bought more. But I use these all the time for my broth, because then if you need just a little for a base of a sauce, you can pull out a couple of tablespoons, I mean. If you needed it to go in your green beans, you could pull up how many cups you need for the base in your green beans or your corn, whatever. Rice, if you need 2 cups for a cup of rice, super easy way to do it. But how am I going to do it if I don't have those? Because I usually want to get all my broth frozen. When you're making 5 gallons of broth, you want to get it froze as quick as possible. Because one, you might need the jars and the space. I'm using this, and I'm going to sit them this way, and then I might do 1 or 2 this way. But I go ahead and open up a couple, because I don't want them freezing together. I don't want them laying down. One time I made broth, laid it down. One of the bags was not sealed properly. You know the rest of the story. You have frozen broth in your freezer. Now, this one I'm not concerned with. The one that gelled the most does not hurt my feelings a bit. I'm going to lay it down because it's not runny. When it gets hot, it's runny. But the colder it gets, it's just going to freeze properly. But the first one I'm going to do is my feet broth. So my feet broth are going to run the most. And I don't like to clean up my freezer. It gets on everything. This is a little probably Dollar Tree deal. Well, $1.25 tree now. And they even have $3 and $5 in there. But anyway. And I can freeze however many cups I like. 2 cups at a time would be fine. If I'm going to drink it, I can get 2 out. Because if I'm drinking it, my kids are going to drink it. And if somebody's sick, 2 cups works great. Now, I know this is a dry measuring cup, but it's Acres Farm. I just can't announce that enough. This is how we do it. I could use another one and pour it. So we might just see if it... This was a Pampered Chef silicone thing. I lost the lid to it, but this will work too. I can pour from there into here and pour it fine. So this is 2 cups. That's what I'm going to freeze each one of these. And this is that simple. So I'm going to make sure real quick. So one thing good or bad about this, it squishes. So you have to be careful with this. But then it squeezes and can keep you from spilling it. So here's 2 cups of feet broth. And then it's super simple. You just write on there feet broth and you're done. I take them and I kind of fold them in half and do them like that. Once you get enough, you can lay them flat. And well, I'll show you. Let me just do this real quick and give you a closer up view. I just forgot something. Actually, this is going to be 5.5 gallons, give or take some cups, because we used, of the meat broth, we used 1/2 gallon to make soup. So, kudos to us. It was a wonderful soup. No, rice. That was beef we used on the soup. So what I'm doing now, it was chicken and rice, 1/2 gallon for my chicken and rice. It was wonderful too. Broth is worth making. It takes some effort, but you're looking at about 2 days max as far as consistent work. Now you have to let it, cool enough to handle or things like that. And you have to clean some stuff, but now that we have a dishwasher back, that's not a big deal. So what I'm doing right here is I'm making sure they sealed. This one has a leak, but that won't matter. I can see where it's leaking. It's not anything to do with the bag itself is leaking. But what I'm going to do won't let that be a problem. This just has to hold long enough for me to turn this up and sit it in here. The flatter I can get the bag, the happier I am. Because it thaws quicker, or it's easier to tear open. You can tear the sides real quick and simple and slide it out there. There we go. So now it doesn't have to be perfect. One may be bigger than the other, like I just got it. But then you can slide them around. The thinner they are, they fit better. So when it comes out of this, they'll sit in my freezer, going from bottom to top, stacked just like this. When I do another batch, it'll stack just like this easy too. So this is why I use this. You could go from side to side, it would be the same, but I really like my bags just as flat and as skinny as possible. Another way, since that one came out, I'll show you. get them in there. You don't want to tear them up or nothing. And like I said, one of the bags was leaking here on the side. It was not so much the seal. Look at 2 cups gives enough room for the freeze. You know, the expansion that's going to occur. No big deal. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags of feet broth. I have some left over I'm going to add to my drinking. So here, just come in between, or might even be easier this way, and push them up. Get it started, and it'll slide on in there. And you can kind of pick them up and push them a little. Does not have to be perfect. But here's a neat, organized way to freeze them. You can even come in, tweak them around a little if you needed. Just kind of get them just so-so. This makes quick work for delicious meals that you can do with a busy schedule. And this way you can have a very flavorful dish with a lot less time put into it. You can take a whole day to do something like this, a whole weekend, and you can do it for the whole month and do multiple things while your broth's cooking. So, and then you could even go a step further and take this whole jug, cook a big thing of rice. If you're using an Instapot, it makes it way easier. I have 3 of them. Cook all the rice, put all that in the freezer, use it till it's gone. This is just prep work that's done. One thing I like about this, let's say a bag does start leaking. It will catch some of it. Now it has its limits, but you could then take this and set inside one of those plastic like shoebox containers about that size, and it would collect all of it, you know. So here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. And they are 2 cups apiece. Feet broth. Not the most gelled. I could have easily rendered it down, made it good and gelled, but I'm done. Oh, my lands, look at that freezer. I gotta make some room. There, that's much better. We can store that right there. Move that over. And I believe these will fit without a problem. So let's get these filled up. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do this one next because this one is not going to bother me freezing it laying down in there. But maybe this will give you an idea on how to even put it in your freezer, and dating it's really my only important part. This one is concentrated enough to gel, so I can dilute it. This one I don't dilute as much. The other one is diluted. Now I use this for dipping it out because a lot of times I try to just not dirty up anything extra and leave it in my Instapot. But since I was doing so much, I had to use my Instapot. So see, look at this. You can tell some of its gel factor, but it's not just a clean pour. There you go. It's a cup. I don't mind the fat being in there. The fat would maybe make it go rancid. So if you wanted to pull it out and check into what rancid would be. But we're not making anything that's going to be heated up 100 times or cooked at a high temp that's going to cause rancidity, if that's the word. There we go. See, I need like 12 of these. And I would be happy. And I need to not drop them. But that happened one time. This one got dropped too. It's a little bunged on the ends, but it holds, it works, it's fine. What I do, I freeze these, And when they're fully thawed, I pop them out and put them in a deep freezer bag. You could probably keep an open container that, a lid that would have a container that would have a lid. And put them in there for a quick pull. But I just put them all together in a bag. I have my beef broth in one and my chicken broth in another. And we're going to have a neat way and a safe way to do deer broth. A lot of people are very cautious with deer broth. But I talked to a biologist at the Game and Fish, and he offered me some advice on what to do for safe deer broth and what to look out for, because he said his only concern was that bone broth means marrow, and marrow because it could carry things. And so he talked to me about what to do. So please like, subscribe, ring the bell, share the video. You're going to want to stay tuned for deer season because we'll be making jerky. And we'll also be able to share with you how we make that broth and how much gel do you get from the knuckles of a deer. So, and how to go about it safely. So we just label what it is. I kind of keep the rule of thumb. If I break the rule of thumb and did more than 2 cups, and then these are always 2 tablespoons. After you do something like this big and you get it all done, it's so much more satisfying than if you do it a little on the way. And we have some a little by the way as you go. We have some of our chickens still in the freezer to use, but the roosters had to go. They were consuming feed. The one main reason why I got rid of the roosters was mainly because it was cool and because they like to nest in the nesting boxes and they leave a filthy mess behind, and my eggs and my roosters don't mix. So these are different amounts of liquid. This was in the 8-quart Instapot. This was in the 6-quart Instapot. You can only fill both of them up pressure cooking so far. So I'm going to show you the difference between that gel and this gel. But I'm going to show you, because I'm about to pull them out to make my perpetual broth. Real quick, and then we'll get to this one. But the difference, you saw the gel there. Less water can gel more. So let's see if this does. Here is this one. So you see how it's plopping, so it's still not. This is both bone broth, but it mounds up higher. And then this one. Put them side by side. So just a little less water. Less water in this one. This is my 6-quart Instapot. This is my 8-quart. I just took it and put it in there. So look. One mounds up because it has less water. Right here. That one had more water, so it gelled less. So all I would need to do to make this one match this one is render it down. Or I would have used less water in the beginning. Hopefully this kind of stuff's helpful for you. If you're interested in broths and traditional type cooking, check out traditionalcookingschool.com. Wardy Harmon has an amazing lineup, and it's the most helpful information to benefit you. Don't hesitate. It's phenomenal. Now we are moving on to this one. This one had so much fat in it, I am pulling the fat out. And the fat is really good to keep. You can freeze it and put it in dishes for flavor. You can replace that for butter in a dish that calls like a sauce that you're, like a roux or something maybe. I don't know. So I just replace the chicken broth. I replace butter with chicken broth when I get quite a bit like this. And it really, y'all, you get flavor like no other. Which if you'll pay attention, you see that they do this in cooking shows. But they may have prepared it themselves. Then again, they may not. So, there's some pretty good looking, and I promise you will taste good broth. I don't know what we'll use it on. Cooking eggs in it too is really not that big. It's really good, so don't forget. Whatever you can try, try. Now, since this is in here, I'm going to use my half-cup one to pour it. Me, I'm good getting this done and getting to the next task, like cleaning up this mess. There you go. I do it the same way to get the air out. I just kind of fold it in half. Never let your hand off of it because then it just goes. But this doesn't, I mean, it's gel. The warmer it gets, the less it'll be gelled. But as it freezes, guess what? That's not the problem. So glad to see this. We like to drink it when we're sick, whether it's stomach or, you know, congestion. We like to drink it because it's cold outside and we're not coffee drinkers, just Tyler. We have some herbal coffee or tea, but we like to do it this way. The kids grew up on this. They know no different. Sometimes they'll ask for it to be sweetened, like with honey. But a lot of times we just prefer the salty, especially if we're puny. The salty really kind of helps to seem to like settle your stomach or something, or clear your throat with the salt. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Did you expect any different? Now this time I check each one for double assurance. See how there's space for the swelling? So and if you were just very nervous with the gel I've got on and I'm not nervous, you would definitely put something under there. Perpetual broth. What the crud is that mess? Who ever heard of such? It's just bone broth you keep doing. If you are liking this video, I'm going to say it again. Subscribe. Ring the bell. Share our video. You may have somebody that's interested in collagen in their broth and gelling and making all that. So I'm breaking out the Instapot 8-quart Evo Duo Plus. And I'm putting all that I've already collected out of the broth. Normally I pull what I normally do, I have some of these bowls. I pull all the bones out and put them in there for my perpetual broth. But I left one in there because I had to leave the house in a hurry. So you just dump. This is the skin and the bones, the feet and the neck for their last cooking. I'll show you something up front. So that is not a soft bone. I cannot break it very easily. When they're breakable, you can be done with perpetual broth. I don't always wait for that. And then some, if I get it after, I just do one round of perpetual broth. Some do it until that bone is nothing left because you got all the nutrients out of it. And that is fine too. Do what you need. So I'm going to try to get off as much collagen as I can. Gel, collagen. I'm just bragging. So one thing I forgot to add, if you have the racks like we do, see my fingers go through, not a shelf that's glass or something, take a baking sheet or something, just a cake pan, put under your broth. See how it's starting to lean? I mean, that's fine. I don't really care. I may readjust that. It's starting to drive me nuts now. But here I finished putting all of our broths up. Up here are the ones that are too liquidy and might cause a big mess. These are all the ones I was confident with their gel. And I've got perpetual broth going. So I just want to share that other little tip. Dun 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 dun! Here is my broth. So we have, see how these freeze a little bulkier. That was in the white container. And I didn't really put them in the order that I froze them in because they'll fit a lot cleaner. But anyway, there at the back is my ones that I froze on the rack that were gelled enough. The reason I froze these like this is because they didn't gel enough. I took them out of the plastic because plastic doesn't really do that good like that plastic over the time. But I have all my quick grab broths, leaving my freezer just filled with other things. That is my broth shelf, and it's all done. That doesn't really look like that would be that much broth, but for Roosters, and so we may have 6 gallons. But now here is my last batch that I made of perpetual broth, and it's only a ½ gallon. So anywhere from 5 to 6. But I was going to heat some up real quick because I got cold being in that freezer. And let's see if there's any gel to this. This is our second batch of perpetual broth. What did I do with the leftovers? The leftovers, everything bone-wise that was left, and there was no break in the bone. It should crumble when there's no good left in the bone. But I didn't go that far. I kind of told you I never really do. Look at that. That gel. Maybe this will be better. I don't think that did anything. Good. So look at that. There is gel in this. You can maybe tell with the pour test, because it is plopping. But maybe you can tell. That is our gel. That's good collagen from perpetual broth. I'm just going to drink some. Get it good and steamy and put it in a cup and drink it. I hope this has helped. Let's see. That's better for me. I hope this has helped you. My goal is to just show you some of the things I do in daily life. It's not always easy, and it looks a little chaotic, as you saw how things work on our farm. And it feels really good to have whatever I could store in the freezer. And it felt good to have broth at hand for soup because somebody was sick. Felt good to have broth on hand to make chicken and rice out of. It felt good to have broth because you were just like, you know what, I'm cold, and it would feel good to drink that up. I was impressed, very thoroughly impressed at the perpetual broth. 2 batches of it did wonderful. So then I just went and put it in the compost pile. I dug a hole. We have a beautiful compost pile. We will absolutely do a video on that and let you know more on it. So subscribe so you can see when that video comes up. We'll probably be doing that closer to gardening season, or when we at least put it in our garden. But nothing went to waste from those roosters. We have next week coming up medieval ink that we have been collecting the ingredients, and we have rooster feathers. Wonder where we got those from. We have rooster feathers coming, going to be in that video, not coming. We have them now. And we're going to see about writing with our medieval ink. Neat little video, hopefully. So don't forget to ring the bell so you'll know when that comes up. We hope that's next week. I hope you'll enjoy it. Do not forget to subscribe, share, like, comment. Help us grow our channel because we're really happy to do this. And we would just like more to be able to enjoy it. Thanks for watching Bardacres Farm. God bless.